Greetings, I'm Hellhound, and welcome to my review show. If you've been watching my show, you'll know that I have been reviewing my favorite entries from all the big four slasher series. You know, Friday the 13th, Texas Chainsaw, and Elm Street, Halloween. I did the first two Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, and the first two Halloweens, and part 4 as well. And then I ended up doing the whole Jason series because I couldn't decide which ones were my favorite. With the exception of like 2 or 3 of them, all of them were pretty much my favorite. So I just did the whole series, even the 2009 remake. But I'm going to go ahead and continue that and do Nightmare on Elm Street now. And I'm just going to do my favorites from that series, because I already talked about them all in my ranking video. So, if you don't know what I think about all the Freddy movies, just watch my video entitled Nightmare on Elm Street Movies Ranked Best to Worst. It was actually the second video I posted under Hellhound's Reviews, which at the time I was going by the horror and metal show, because I couldn't think of a better title. So yeah, I'm probably just going to do the first 3. Now, I don't really like part 2 a whole lot. It's heavily flawed, but I guess I kind of like it better than the rest. Definitely better than Freddy's Dead and the remake, for sure. Part 4 definitely has its moments. That's when Freddy kind of became too much of a comedian. He was the star of the show, really. That was still a pretty good movie. Freddy's... was it Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child? I didn't really like. That was probably one of the weaker entries. New Nightmare I find to be very overrated. It was good, but I don't like how it pretends all the other movies were movies, and they're not really canonical. But yeah, for more info on all that, just watch my ranking video. I really go into detail. So I'm just going to do the first 3, and I already reviewed Freddy vs. Jason as part of my Jason review marathon, so already covered that. So, well, today we'll just be looking at the original, A Nightmare on Elm Street, from 1984. Now, I'll say off the bat that Part 3, Dream Warriors, is my favorite of the series. However, this one's definitely the best. It's not my personal preference, but it is definitely the best of the series. It's the best horror film. It's the scariest, has the best suspense. It's the most sophisticated. It really is superior to the others, even if I enjoy Dream Warriors a little more. That would definitely be my second favorite, though, by far. 1 and 3 I just hold, way above the rest. But yeah, as I said, watch my ranking video for more info on that. Alright, well, let's get to the premise. We have Heather Langenkamp playing Nancy, who's the main character, and her and her friends have been haunted by this evil man in their dreams, and she finds it weird that every single one of her friends have a dream about the same guy. He's, really scary guy with a burnt face and a brown hat, a red and green striped sweater, and he's got a glove with knives for fingers. Everybody knows who Freddy Krueger is. I don't really think I need to go into a lot of detail. But, yeah, Freddy's terrorizing her and her friends in her dream. She has her friend, I think her name's Tina. The actress named Amanda Weiss, the blonde chick at the beginning. I think her name's Tina. And Tina's boyfriend, Rod, played by Zoo Garcia, I think his name is. What happens is Tina's killed, if that's her name. She's killed in her sleep. It's a really cool effect how she's like going, she's like on the ceiling and getting claw marks all over her, and that really blew me when I first saw it. It was really scary too. And then she's killed. Her boyfriend Rod is blamed for her murder, and he's taken to jail after he's caught talking to Nancy like one day after school. And I really felt for Rod, I felt bad for the guy, because he, we all know he didn't kill Tina. We all saw it happen. Nobody else did, unfortunately. Nancy and her boyfriend, who's played by Johnny Depp, this is actually his first movie. This is the first movie Johnny Depp was in. A lot of people don't know that, surprisingly. A lot of famous actors got their start in a horror film. Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween, Johnny Depp in Nightmare on Elm Street, Kevin Bacon in Friday the 13th, and so on and so on. But anyway, so yeah, Nancy's boyfriend, Glenn, played by Johnny Depp, as I said, he's actually not dreaming of Freddy, I think. At least not at first. I think he says he doesn't even have dreams. But yeah, she just wants to get to the bottom of things. Why is this killer terrorizing her dreams and killing her friends? Rod's killed in jail. It doesn't actually show his dream, but, it suggested that Freddy did something to where the sheets come alive and, it hangs him to death. Whatever happens in the dream world happens in real life eventually. Freddy just has that power somehow, and it's never explained really how he got that way, and I didn't really need an explanation. I thought that made it cooler that there wasn't one like we got in Freddy's Dead. But, so yeah, that's the basic premise. Nancy's parents, played by John Saxon, her dad, and Ronnie Blakely is her mom, they don't believe her. And that just brings me to the movie's fatal flaw. I can't stand the mother character. She's like an alcoholic, and nothing impresses this lady. I mentioned this in my ranking video, so if you have already watched that episode, I might repeat myself a lot here. Just nothing impresses this woman. Nancy actually pulls Freddy's hat out of her dream and says, "Mom, I pulled his hat out," and her hair turns gray and everything. She's like, "Look, there's his name, Fred Krueger." And Mom's just like, "Fred Krueger? Sweetie, Fred Krueger is dead. He can't come after you." And she explains a story about how, he was a child murderer, and a bunch of angry parents got together and burned him alive inside the place where he works, and that's how he died, and that's how he's became a ghost who's terrorizing people in her dreams. But her mom doesn't believe that part, and she doesn't even seem to care that a hat was pulled out of a dream and has his name in it. Nothing impresses this woman. It's just like, what the hell? Hey, he's dead because Mommy killed him, sweetie. It's just like, don't you find it weird that she pulled a hat out of a dream? Don't you find it weird that it's the same man that you had a part in, you played a part in his death? Doesn't that bother you? And nothing convinces her parents that Freddy Krueger's returned somehow. I wouldn't believe it either, but, at the same time, I'd be, trying to be a little protective. I'd want to side with my kids. That's just the only part I didn't really like. That and the ending, which doesn't really make much sense, but I guess I won't spoil it, just in case you haven't seen it. This is a timeless horror classic. It's just an excellent shocker, directed by Wes Craven, who's one of the best horror directors. He gave us Last House on the Left and Hills Have Eyes. This is probably his best work. I guess Scream, too. All the Scream movies he directed. Those kind of started a trend of self-aware, generic, kind of satirical diet horror movies, as I call them. They were really toned down, but it was pretty much all we had in the 90s, so I guess I'll give it a pass. Wes Craven is a great director, though. He's had a few misses over the years. He also did Serpent in the Rainbow. He did a movie called Shocker, which I actually kind of like, despite its many flaws. He's just the man. And Robert Englund, who plays Freddy, everybody knows how great he is. He's just a horror master. He's made the part his own. Robert Englund is Freddy, and he always will be. And in this movie, he really is scary. He wasn't really the jokester, known for wisecracking and one-liners like he'd become later on in the series. But, Robert Englund's just awesome. I think we can all agree with that. That was part of one of the reasons the remake didn't work. As much as I like Jackie Earle Haley, Robert Englund's the one true Freddy. Look at this. Friday the 13th incense. Isn't that awesome? I just had to show that off because I think it's just cool as crap. Sorry. Anyway, despite the crappy character of the mother, played by Ronnie Blakely, and the annoying, unclear ending, which doesn't make any sense, this is a great film, a horror masterpiece. I'd give it a 9 out of 10, a very high 9. Only because of the mother character and the ending, but I would highly recommend this. It's the scariest one in the series. It's by far the best, even if I prefer part 3. Definitely check it out. Nightmare on Elm Street from 1984, directed by Wes Craven and starring Heather Langenkamp, is definitely one of the best. Definitely in the top 10 horror movies ever made. I guess that about covers it. I don't really think there's anything else I'd like to add. Yeah, I couldn't remember some of the characters' names, but oh well, it's not really that important. But yeah, definitely check it out if you haven't already. I guess next I'll cover A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge. That movie really isn't that good, but what can I say? I feel like there's a lot I can say about it, despite pretty much covering it all in my ranking video. So, well, until then, thanks for watching.